I'm about to rank the fuck at these Kendrick Lamar albums. He needs no introduction. Right after Kanye, I personally believe Kendrick Lamar is the second greatest hip-hop artist of all time. Each and every single body of work he puts out is so consistently good, filled to the brim with detail, heavy social commentary, and a huge historical significance to not only the African American community, but America as a whole. This is probably one of the hardest ranking videos I've ever done, but here it is. I'm ranking all of Kendrick Lamar's 5 main albums. Now, number 5 has to be Section 80. This is Kendrick Lamar's main introduction to the hip-hop world. Instead of making an album solely about himself, he wove together different experiences and points of views from the people who grew up at the same time period and community as him. Section 80 was extremely consistent in putting out highly descriptive storytelling, impressive lyricism, and compelling retrospectives of what made him who he is today. In fact, the way in which the format of the album follows is nothing but a stroke of genius. Even more, telling the stories of black women, who are often overlooked in multiple facets of history, allowed not only this work to feel more real, but inclusive in bringing to life the overall message of his work. My only issue with this album is his beats. Despite amazing and upbeat tracks like Fuck Your Ethnicity, Ronald Reagan Era, Rigor Mortis, and High Power, I'm personally not a fan of the slow, atmospheric R&B type tracks. Again, that's just my preference speaking. Still, for a debut album, or what he considers to be his mixtape or whatever, Section 80 was an incredible introduction to the wide world that Kendrick had to bring. This album is an easy 9 out of 10, my favorite track being Ronald Reagan Era. Number 4 is Damn. Phew. Let me get this out the way and say this album is a 9.2 out of 10. It was pretty hard to digest this album when I first listened, mainly because of how cynical and often distraught K-Dot came off on here. Taking on the responsibility of a voice of a generation is hard, but feeling rejection from that said generation you're trying to save has to be even harder. And the feeling of pain is very clear when you listen to Damn. Coated tightly with a variety of modern hip-hop tracks, Damn feels like Kendrick's most commercial album. That being said, it allows him to be versatile when rapping, giving more room for creative messages, rhyme schemes, and complex storytelling. It's no wonder why this album was Kendrick's best-selling. He found a way to perfectly balance conscious rap with a mainstream appeal. My only peeve with this album is again some of the beat selections, which impacted the overall feel. Otherwise than that, I greatly enjoyed Damn. My favorite song off the album is Pride. Also, I kind of realized it has this cool reverse thing you can do, but I'll allow you to go into that for yourselves because I really don't know too much about it, but it's just a thought. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers came in 3rd place. I remember listening to this project the night it came out. I laid on my bed and looked at the ceiling of my college dorm, carefully listening to every word, note, and key played into my ears from my headphones. This shit touched me. I was deeply moved, and honestly, with the exception of a few works, not many things can move me. But I have to give it to this project. I was amazed that Kendrick continues to deliver such high quality while never losing sight of what he's trying to say. You can imagine my surprise the next morning when I accidentally logged into Twitter and saw you fucks tearing this work to pieces. Morale follows Kendrick's deeper philosophical thoughts over slightly fused abstract and industrial hip-hop instrumentals. The production was top-notch, and the use of features I've never heard before was refreshing. Kendrick knew clearly how to make sure every feature stood out in bringing the project to life, helping the aesthetic to prosper. He's clearly grown, not just as an artist, but as a literal person. The fact that he's now in therapy, something that so many black people till this day still refuse to go to, is a huge start. Rebranding himself once again, I truly felt as if Kendrick was coming to peace with himself and his role in life, only proven further by tracks such as Father Time, Silent Hill, and Savior. My favorite track is of course The Heart Part 5, still the best hip-hop song I've heard all this year. My only critique is the slight blandness some beats may have compared to others' use, feeling a strong 9.3 out of 10 for this one. Good Kid, M.A.A.d City at number 2 was a trip. Yo, what the hell? Honestly, Kendrick has to be one of, if not the greatest storyteller in all of hip-hop. I felt as if I was actually in Compton, seeing everything and everyone through his eyes. While Section 80 told the story of others in his community, Good Kid focused mainly on him. The album was a fucking movie. The pacing was on point, easily digestible, while having me on the edge of my seat waiting to hear what unfolds next. Good Kid is Kendrick's most immersive album, as the beat selection chosen was very funky and groovy, a true cultivation of West Coast hip-hop sound. I felt terrible for the fates and outcomes of characters I've never even met before, and at the same time I could recognize certain tropes of characters I knew in my own life. Swimming pools, for instance. The lyrics still play over and over again in my mind like a broken record. For this one, I'm feeling a strong 9.5 out of 10. Favorite song off the album being Good Kid. I can seriously see why a large majority of people consider this to be his best work. Fortunately, a very larger majority considers this next album to be the greatest hip-hop album of all time, me included. I feel like we all knew To Pimp a Butterfly would be number one. It's a no-brainer. This is one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time. Hell, The Blacker the Berry, in my opinion, is the greatest hip-hop song of all time. That anger, resentment, and plot twist thrown at the end, the heavy drums and sharp snares followed by hellish synths, even Travis would be proud of. Plus, the using of the old saying, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, with the blacker the berry, the bigger I shoot. I could go on about this song for hours, praising it for its significance, emotion, rawness, and strong message. But I won't. Mainly because every other track on this album holds the same weight and value into forming a more whole collective. That's what The Pimp a Butterfly is. Art. Art on the truth of the black struggle, expressing the disdain for the often overlooked black experience, while tackling head-on complexities made from that same struggle. It's what a hip-hop album was and still should be. Black people expressing themselves through black music. And what a better way to wrap this masterpiece up than with a brief conversation between Pac, can never pronounce his name right, and Kendrick at the end. Words can't even begin to explain like how powerful that was. I can only think of a few albums to reach this status in my books. The Low End Theory, The College Dropout, so on and so forth. Yet still, if there's one thing that should always be clear, it's that Kendrick Lamar will always deliver no matter what obstacles may be in his way. Feeling a strong 10 out of 10 with this one. Favorite track is of course The Blacker the Berry.
I think I put enough hours and work to be able to pen a 100-bar verse on the spot at any given moment. But for me to actually feel an idea and a concept, it has to come from me. And a lot of times I have to block out a lot of different needs and wants, you know, just for my own selfish reasons. But at the end of the day, it comes out where, you know, whether you like it or not, you know you're gonna know it comes from a real place. And it's gonna feel unapologetic, I'm not compromising, and it's gonna feel me.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, so that's it for the video. I have so much more to come out this week, but I'm actually kind of behind schedule, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. But yeah, rest assured, there's way more to come. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!